So, thank you, Ajahn. Just feel, want to kind of sign my name on the end of the retreat. Close the field. So just closing. It's important to know how to close in a way that isn't shutting down or shutting off, but just gathering round. As we finish our Qigong, just the gathering round. A protector, gathering in. So we have these, as we have these two images guiding us, Buddha, the male form, Tara, female form, is of course Buddha did have a male body, historical Buddha, but looking at these things in very kind of primary archetypal senses, we have energies that are to do with opening and softening and nourishing, and that's here. We have energies to do with cherishing, protecting, making things safe, and both of those we need. Need the firm, the back, thing that backs us up, and we need that quality of something that's worth backing up. So we're not just the rigid thing, But then the closure is the acknowledgement of both of those. There's something here to protect, and realistically needs to be protected. It doesn't mean being paranoid, but a sense of care, restraint, collectedness, gathering in what's beautiful and saying, don't let anything harm, you're not coming in here. The ill will, the cynicism, the depression, the brutality, not in here. So there's that, on that very kind of very early primary level of when we come into form, as we come into form. And generally, often, it can be the case in retreat, certainly for myself, as one descends into this very early quality of basic presence, and so often what happens is the crust, the armouring, the defunct shields drop off, and we experience some considerable dissonance, and with some practice we can begin to soothe that, and it opens in something very beautiful. And also, but with that, there's a certain, for me anyway, certain poignancy, because it seems to carefully come from that to the sensory world, not to jump out, because really this heart is too big for an I am to hold it. It's just too big, and this little I am can't manage it. So it gets awkward and confused, but that's when we go into our daily lives, that I am quality has to somehow be present, because that's what people are going to talk to. Can that be touched and held in the right way? And this is what conventions are about. So notice, even with the Tara's open, she's not there's a curling round, the arms are curling round, the space, the legs are curling round, there's a sense of openness, but also a sense of there's something here that's being protected in a light way. You don't jump in there. And so this is something, just to bear this quality in mind. To look after yourself, look after your heart. And in a way, the job, we back to kind of real good old earthy terms, the job, the work of the masculine is to just be that kind of, protector, saying, okay, this means, we're going to keep the precepts. That's your protection. So you protect yourself from regret, you protect yourself from abuse, from being abused, you protect yourself from associating with people who have no respect, from taking in the poisons, from getting infected with greed and hatred. If we're in this world where there is this quality, these are our protectors, they're called, and the sense of the preciousness of that, it's not just kind of got to follow these rules, but the preciousness of it. It's called Hiri-Ottappa, and these are called the world guardians. Hiri-Ottappa, there's two, Hiri and Ottappa. Hiri is a sense of, concern that one's heart remains steady and bright. That what beauty has arisen is not lost. The sense of conscience in this world. Ottappa, the sense of respect for others. May I not cause them harm or suffering. These are called the world guardians. If we abide with those, then, other people may in fact be unpleasant, nasty, brutal, stupid, whatever that seems like that. And I will not allow ill will to take over my mind. I will protect myself from that. And I'll protect myself in a very pragmatic, everyday, could call it masculine way of just, nope, don't get into swearing, nope, don't get into screaming, nope, don't get into bullying, nope, don't get into gossiping and backbiting, nope, just stop it. I know you want to do it, but stop it. That kind of certain bluntness to it, just stop. And then as you come out, then you realise, oh yes, thank you. Didn't realise that. That's the skillful way to hold it, to really sense these things as protectors. And I'm certainly, really appreciating Ajahn verbalizing the precepts in a kind of positive way, the trustworthiness, the harmlessness, the restraint, the modesty, rather than you can't do this, you can't do that. There are certain precious qualities to be cherished. And our job is to be the defender of that. And you think of precepts, you say, look, myself, I don't have to think it anymore, because it's so established now. When you wake up, it's over. It's, just ordinary waking up, it's time, you've woken up in bed, it's over. Get up. Get up, tidy yourself up, and you've got to get your heart together, you've got to come into this world, don't just stumble into it, my goodness, it's dangerous out there. You've got to sit for a while, and this isn't just kind of like I've got to do my meditation practice, but I'm toast if I don't go out there with my... I'm not responsible. I kind of get it together. Otherwise I can say stupid things, get seduced by something or the other, buy into something, get snarly and grumpy. So just get that sense of alignment. And that's what, in a sense, with this, this morning meditation, just coming into alignment, drawing into alignment. Through the whatever, the untidiness of one's energies, the lowness, whatever the mind states are, just coming into true, into alignment. So, in a way, like surely any meditation teacher is going to say, you meditate, keep precepts. And then really getting a feeling for the inner quality of those. The inner and the subtle quality. The inner quality is a sense of orienting to one's value, establishing the safety, because it's not safe. The world is not a safe place. Nothing makes it safe. It's very apparent. You can see every day there's news telling you this is not safe. You know, you can walk down a street and somebody's going to run a truck into you. It isn't safe. So, but you got to. So the meditation is establish the safe here. You know, there's no safety out there. They're establishing that, so the system can come into its clarity, its poise, or we might touch into something that will release the sorrows and the rage and the fear. So yeah, you know, meditate, could call it that. Precepts call it that. I'd also like to just, I feel, again, my responsibility to just kind of just leave you with 4 reference points that come to mind that you relate to. And I think we've suggested this very clearly, relating to your embodiment. Something we try to work a lot around in this retreat, since this is where we are, relating to your embodiment. And I mean, yes, it's the physical body. It's making sure you get enough sleep, make sure you get some food. It's nice to see some of you doing, you know, yoga and qigong. It's really relating to this, taking care of this, the materiality, recognizing within that the attitudes. It's not that we're going to be, you know, super anything, but you're just keeping the system, caring for the system, the physicality of it. Again, this is something very important to do. However much you can do with that, just even checking in with that, relating to the sheer physicality of your body. This thing takes a huge amount of stress, you know, physically and neurologically. The stressing in the nerves of just impact, you know, and also the stressing of walking out into a world or a virtual world in which nobody's there. You've just got messages. Sorry, see you later. Contact our website for details. You know? Basically, you know, and the amount, I hope that's not all that's there, but that is part of what's there. This is chilling to me, very chilling. That we could engender systems that have so little care, so little humanity in them. So, you know, then you take the stress of that. You know, something he wants to seal off from that. It's natural. Something he wants to just seal off from that. Maybe that's not a bad idea. You know, really protect yourself from the indifference of the world. And so, the body, you know, your body, keeping your body is this thing you can relate to. And within that, of course, the inner quality of the body, the energy, looking after it. When it's starting to stress, when you're starting to just numb out, when you're starting to just get out of your head into your thoughts, the signals are there. Stop. You know, just like the precept, just stop. You know, if you stop for 1 minute, stop. Come into your body. It'll always be there to receive you when no one else will. And you get those signals when you're really racing way beyond your capacities, tightening up, going frantic, you know, just stop. And this doesn't mean your mind will say, I can't stop for the rest of my life. Just stop for 5 minutes, 1 minute. Stop for 10 seconds every 2 hours. Stop for 10 seconds. It's like that. Just to at least tell the body, I'm sorry, we've got to work, but I do recognize you're there. And look, just this gesture of respect. And the body's amazing, the embodiment is amazingly gracious. Like just some gesture of it, it will pay you back. It will give you some support. It's a very generous system. And sure, because for sure we abuse it. I abused mine for decades, really. Just brutalizing it, not consciously, but just not really, always caught up in ideas and desires and projects and duties and responsibilities and got to do this and that. And it was still, I could still find some time to come back into it, and it would always forgive. Okay, here we are, ground, safety, come back. And it's that. Looking after your body, your physicality, and also your neurology. If you like neurology better than energies, then fine. Just your wiring. And so that one, relate to it. Don't just use it, relate to it. Relate to people. Cranky, confusing, adorable, mysterious, poignant, sad. Just be touched. Just be touched. Again, you don't have to form total bonds, glued-on bonds, but allow yourself to be affected and even express being affected. So some kind of energetic connection. We just let those lines come out, and there'll be somebody who will actually acknowledge that and go, oh yeah, oh thank you, yeah. Those energetic connections are really important to keep the humanity alive. We're an endangered species, believe it or not. There's 7 billion of us, and yet the humanity level is endangered through that lack of you, me, you, not just them. That kind of, so there's a sense of respect for others. But even people you live with every day think, oh, here he is again. Just like it's, wow. It's just, this could be the last day, the last moment, the last hour. Let's not just glide over it. It doesn't mean, like with stop, it doesn't mean, you've got to kind of weld together. But just touching in. And let other people love you in their own strange ways. And they are very strange, There are different ways of doing it. Sometimes love is just passing the teapot. I acknowledge you. Want a cup of tea? Sometimes that's about as loving as I can get. Doesn't always work like that. Something wants to come out and acknowledge. You feel a bit emotionally kind of don't know how to handle this sense. You don't want to get too soft, too intimate. So cup of tea. In Britain, that's it. It doesn't get deeper than that, but we do it a lot. So little touches, People think it's the fluid, it's just this gesture. So, some kind of humble, simple way in which you do. You didn't have to do that. He did. He didn't have to do that, but he did. Pick it up. People aren't always able to really express heart very fully. The other quality to relate to is earth, this very land we live on. Again, a forgotten item. We can cycle on it. We can also mine it and chuck rubbish on it and carve it up and blow it up, just like it's dirt. This is the mother, isn't it? This earth is the mother of our organism. It didn't ask for anything. It gives us everything. It doesn't ask for anything back. Every material thing, the cloth that we wear, the wood of the floor, comes from the earth. It didn't ask. We didn't ask for it. We just took it, and it didn't ask for anything back. And we can still, because it can't speak, we can still just ignore it. This is really very. I don't find a word for it really, but it's not worthy of us to be so blind. So, relating to it is at least seeing, letting yourself walk in it, move in it. You can't love it as an idea. Well, you can, but really walk in it, look at it, be blessed by it, enjoy it. See what you could do to help it. Things like reducing our pollutants, reducing our carbon and things like that. And you do what you can, but essentially it's the quality of that respect for the earth and belonging to it. So when you sit, you really sit on the earth. And the relationship means that you have to let it support you. It's just like, if you want to have a friend, you don't just look after them, you let them look after you. Otherwise it's not really. It's patronizing, And we don't want that. We want to allow ourselves to be looked after. When you sit on the earth, let it hold you, really, lie on it, let it hold you, feel it hold you. And then it's kind of strange, but when you recognize that, you sense, this is alive. It can't speak, but this is alive. It's got a slow, very life pulse to it than we do, but this is alive. Those trees are alive. I have no right to just treat them like objects. So respect, and the more you can be with that, it will always refresh you. It will always accept you. When nobody else will accept you, the trees will, and the sun will, and the mountains will. Very important when you just had enough of cranky, stupid human beings. And the rhythms of it is getting into the way the body, when it touches the earth, feels that rhythmic connection. You feel it coming up into your muscles, and your legs, and your lungs, and your breath. You think, it's giving me my body back. This earth is giving me my body back, because that's what the body belongs to. So respect relationship to that. And finally, relationship to the sacred. That's why we have images, shrines, pujas. Sacred, of course, is not these images, the external form, but something that in our relationship to them, then we can, the quality, purity, timeless, patient, steady, generosity of heart, and love for it, love for purity, love for the citta. And as much as we, however you want to verbalize that, really participate in it, so that you can respect, obviously, you can respect people you respect, images you respect, examples you respect, but also let them respect you. Let yourself be touched by them. Ask for help. Don't be proud. Ask for help. And of course, they might not going to have words, but that gesture. And so myself, find that particular movement on occasions. You just, when things get really dry and confused, and I don't know. And I can try to be as good as I can. Still trying to be as good as I can. I still feel too small. I think, well, just your opening help. And that gesture seems to have, for me, has certain effects. But that's a sacred quality. It's not, I'm so feeble and pathetic. But recognizing this thing, this citta is just so much bigger than I am. I can't, little me, the I am, just can't really cope with this. I have to humbly stand in the sacredness of it and ask for guidance. Now, this may sound very Christian and godlike. I think they were onto something. I think everybody's onto something. All religions are onto something. You may not like the language, you may not like the customs, but anybody who's looking true with truth, they're onto something. There's something in that, and that sense of the sacred. Perhaps as particularly when you come into like Vipassana and insight, you can lose that, and it becomes just pure observation. Pure observation. Listening to yourself. Sometimes I'm just fed up with listening to myself. Observing myself. I've seen it, I've heard it. So then I asked Buddha to listen to me instead. And that just opens the field a little wider. So make your Buddha, make your image something that isn't just a static image, something that you really participate in, and you make it work by working with it. Any relationship, you just got to keep. It's not a static thing. You've got to keep working it. You've got to keep refreshing it. You've got to keep asking something of it and giving something to it. Both, not just giving, asking. Not just asking, but giving, and then that keeps it alive. That's the pulse of life, isn't it? So these are things I just came to mind and to offer. I don't want to finish my little piece without expressing my gratitude. It's a still kind of, again, the word's a bit limited, but I really can't do this without management, without support, without friendship. I can't do this. So all the, if I'm fortunate enough to be able perhaps to say things that are helpful, and I don't know why, I don't know where it comes from or why, but I just know I'm grateful to be able to be of service. But I can't be of service without support, and I acknowledge that. Because otherwise I've got to keep trying to, I've got to support stuff. And then part of this thing of being in this particular situation, I just have to drop, and other people pick it up, and that's what means I can just focus on channeling, something. And that support is quiet bits and pieces. It's the managers, it's the attendants, it's Stefan, it's Sajjan Metta, just kind of there, Yogi bringing me a tea for the interviews. It's these little things that we're backing you up, You can just relax, I forget the times, I don't even bother, just tell me what to do. Because it works better that way. So because then that can really just open that, So in a way, none of us exist independently. It really is ignorance and arrogance, stupidity and loneliness to imagine we live independently, as if we all want to live independently anyway. Because it's in the dependency, the mutual dependency, this flexing of relationship, you feel the blessing, the blessed, and the humility, and I allow myself to be supported, and not trying to know it all, and do it all, and that's taken some time, because men are arrogant. It's a kind of don't even know it. You kind of constellate in the sense of you've got to be the strong thing that holds it all together. That this thing is bigger than this. So many, this acknowledgement, gratitude. I'd like you all to understand. Please, it's not just me. It's this whole thing that's generated this retreat. And obviously Ajahn Metta and management, Bjartenberg, and so on, you've all very consciously participated in that, but all of you have also offered me so much in terms of your openness and your willingness and your, saying things which were sometimes poignant or difficult, but you said them. You trusted enough. And that trust is enormously important for me. I can't operate without it. So, what a blessed occasion. As I was coming here, I was kind of listening towards Bjarten, but Bjarten, that means blessed, doesn't it? Sacred, blessed mountain. We're going to the blessed mountain. That's what it said. And I think that's true. So, conclude there.